A city church situated in an upscale area with very few residents faced a tough decision. A large corporation offered them a significant sum of money for their property, intending to build a parking lot there. This money could help the church relocate to a part of the city where they would be able to serve many more people. While some of the members of the congregation found this idea exciting, others were opposed to it. They argued that the church was responsible for a historic building that dated back to the early 1800s and had welcomed many notable figures over the years. In the end, the congregation chose to sell their property and move to a new building where they could help many more people. The priest who supported the congregation during this challenging time said, "We had to choose between being a museum or being on a mission." They realized they couldn't do both. They had to decide whether to stay where they were, enjoying their historic past and serving only a few, or to let go of that past and focus on the meaningful ministry for the people in the city. They chose to prioritize their mission over being a museum. This scripture passage shows a similar struggle. The Pharisees and scribes represented a type of religion focused on preserving the past. They preferred to focus on people who were stable, religious, and not a burden. They wanted their synagogue programs to cater to dependable, like-minded individuals, much like some people in today's churches. Jesus disappointed them by stressing that the real mission was to reach out to those in need of mercy, guidance, and perhaps even a shower. Helping these lost individuals would disrupt the comfortable community that the scribes and Pharisees enjoyed at the synagogue and could also strain their budget. The museum church. Many people, both inside and outside the church, have observed that churches often prefer to focus on preserving traditions rather than fulfilling their mission. Too frequently, churches invest money, leadership, and prayer into maintaining the status quo instead of reaching out and making a difference. Each congregation faces a choice to become a museum that showcases past traditions or to embrace a mission that engages with the community and meets its needs. Unfortunately, the safer but ultimately harmful path is to turn into a museum, where the focus is on keeping things as they are rather than adapting and growing. In today's world, many modern churches can fall into this pattern, prioritizing rituals, old practices, and familiar programs over actively serving others and spreading their message. This can lead to a stagnant environment where the church loses its purpose and relevance in the lives of its members and the community. The mission church. Now we come to the idea of mission, which is essential for our survival as a church. Mission means focusing on people and communities that haven't been reached by the gospel. Jesus referred to these individuals as the lost sheep or the lost coins. The purpose of the church and its message is mainly for the benefit of these lost individuals and communities. While we shouldn't ignore the needs of those who have already heard the gospel or undervalue church's role in our lives, it is important that the church always prioritizes where we are headed over where we have been, and asks who is missing before who is here. Every local church has the power to focus on its mission by reaching out to those in need. One church in the city noticed that more and more of its residents were single young adults. It became clear that the church needed to organize activities to attract these young adults. So, the church created programs that catered to their interests and needs. As a result, this church has become a key place for outreach to single young adults in that area of the city. Additionally, the church has experienced new energy, growth, and an increase in attendance because of its commitment to this mission. In another city, there was a church whose beautiful building was destroyed in an earthquake one night. Many people expressed their sadness over what happened to this church. Its building had been a well-known landmark in the city, and many people from nearby suburban congregations considered it their spiritual home. The bishop and the church leaders saw a chance for new opportunities after the fire had destroyed their building. They received an insurance payout of several million rupees, which gave them the chance to focus on mission work. Instead of rebuilding their church, the congregation decided to invest this money wisely. They are now able to support new and important ministries such as campus outreach and a shelter for the city's homeless. Rather than becoming a museum focused on rebuilding, they chose to pursue a mission-driven approach. This doesn't mean that shifting from a museum mentality to a mission focus will definitely lead to several or financial success. Not all congregations will make it in our changing world, even if they genuinely commit to mission work. Some churches might take the risk to move away from being like a museum, but that doesn't guarantee a successful mission. The main purpose of the church is mission. Without mission, there is no church. And so the church has to be rooted in Jesus. Let's move on to another museum or mission juncture. It is the area of ideology. I would define ideology as an inescapable outlook from which we view ourselves and the world. It comes as standard human equipment, and none of us is without some sort of ideology. It gives order to the way we understand life and its weights, our interpretation of facts and experiences. The church has the responsibility to propagate, preach, and promote the mind and heart of Jesus. Recently, we heard how the American Catholic bishops have spoken to two major issues in American life during the past several years. First, they made an impressive statement on the arms race, and more recently have issued another detailed statement on the American economy in relation to Christian teachings. Those who resist and complain about what the bishops have done underscore the point. The bishops are challenging Christians and others of goodwill to possess what Paul called the mind of Christ. Of course, this is a dangerous path, as a vital mission really is. Vulnerable is the priest who finds this his special calling in particular circumstances. Clergy in areas where corporate ruthlessness has moved to break unions, close plants, and depress a whole community know the frustrations of this role. When they challenge corporate greed and destruction through sermons and conversation, they are often told that it is none of the church's business. Sometimes they are told it by the very persons being hurt the most. In conclusion, the Feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus calls us to embrace a genuine mission that extends beyond our comfort zones. It urges us to confront challenging ideas and judgments, those lost thoughts that need to be integrated into our Christian worldview. Issues such as peace, corporate justice, national humility, and the pursuit of a more integrated society are crucial and demand our attention. The real question is whether we will engage in this mission. While there is no assurance of earthly success, the potential for excitement and fulfillment is profound. Ultimately, as Jesus reminds us, the joy that resonates in heaven when we carry out His work should inspire and motivate us to act. Let us take heart and embrace this mission with courage and dedication. A very happy feast to all of you of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. May Jesus always be praised.